Have you ever wondered why something as simple as a walk can totally change your mood? Well, it's not just in your head. Today, we're going to connect that good feeling directly to what's happening deep inside your DNA.
All right, here's the game plan. We'll kick things off with what well-being even means. Then we'll dig into the hard evidence, and then we're going to zoom all the way down to the microscopic level of our cells. And finally, we'll pull back out to see how the little choices we make every day literally shape our future. So first up, let's talk about a phrase we all use: quality of life. What are we actually talking about here? And, how do scientists even begin to measure something that feels so personal? You see, for researchers, it's not just about the absence of sickness. It's about the presence of positive things in your life. Things like being able to physically do what you enjoy and having the emotional health to really appreciate it. This is a huge shift in thinking. It's not just about not being sick. It's about actively living well.
Okay, so that leads to the big question. Can something as simple as moving your body more actually improve this quality of life? Let's take a look at the evidence, because the connection is, well, it's incredibly strong.
I mean, just look at the high-level stuff from the CDC. It's undeniable. Regular physical activity basically acts like a shield. It dramatically cuts our risk for some of the biggest killers out there, like heart disease and stroke, not to mention type 2 diabetes and at least 8 common cancers. It literally builds a more bulletproof body. But here's what's really interesting. It's not just about preventing disease. Let's look at how confident scientists are about the direct link between moving more and just plain feeling better. And here it is. This is the proof. A huge review of all the scientific studies graded the evidence. And just look at this. For adults and older adults, the connection between physical activity and a better quality of life is rated as strong. Now, that's not just an opinion. That is the highest possible grade, and it's backed by the gold standard of research, randomized controlled trials. So this isn't a theory. It is scientifically rock solid. Okay, so we know it works, but how? How can moving our muscles and bones fundamentally change how we feel and how we age? Well, the answer isn't just in our muscles. It's hidden deep inside the nucleus of every one of our cells. And this is where things get really fascinating. So yeah, how does that walk in the park translate to protecting you at a microscopic level? This question takes us from the gym right into our chromosomes, where you could say the clock of aging is literally ticking away. At the very end of every single chromosome you have, there are these little protective caps called telomeres. And the shoelace analogy is perfect. Just like that little plastic tip keeps your shoelace from unraveling, telomeres prevent our essential genetic code from getting all frayed and damaged. They're basically the bodyguards for our DNA. And here's the catch. Every single time one of our cells divides, and this is happening constantly, those little telomere bodyguards get a tiny bit shorter. And over a lifetime of dividing, they can get so short that they just can't do their job anymore. And that's when our DNA becomes vulnerable, leading to cell damage and what we see as aging. But here's the kicker. This whole process, this cellular aging, it's not just some inevitable countdown we can't control. It is directly and powerfully influenced by the choices we make every single day. And this slide, wow, it really lays out the stark reality of those choices. So one study looked at these things called biomarkers of DNA damage. Think of them as little red flags that tell us our DNA is taking a hit. What they found was that exercise is linked with less damage. It seems to reduce stress on the cells and fire up our body's natural repair crews. But on the flip side, things like smoking and having a high BMI are linked with way more damage. It's a direct cellular trade-off we're making all the time. And I really want you to hear this part, because it's maybe the most important takeaway. This isn't just about how you're going to feel 30 years from now. The study found these effects are age-independent. That means the choices you make today are shaping your cellular health right now, whether you're 25 or 65. So let's zoom back out one last time and connect this incredible science to the big picture of our health. What does this all really mean for us living our lives in the real world? Just look at this number for a second. 110,000. So what is that? Well, according to the CDC, that is the estimated number of deaths every single year that could be prevented if adults over 40 in the US just got a little more physical activity. That's a staggering and frankly preventable loss of life. And this doesn't mean you have to completely overhaul your life. We're not talking about becoming a marathon runner overnight. The data is so clear on this. Even small, consistent changes, we're talking just 10 more minutes a day, can have a life-saving impact.
So the real takeaway is this. Physical activity isn't just about your weight or feeling a bit more energetic. It is a form of active, ongoing maintenance for your cells, your very DNA, and it has profound implications for how well and how long you get to live. The science couldn't be clearer. So the only real question left is the one right there on your screen.